Good morning. So it's about what time is it here? It's about 8:30 in the morning here. I told you I get up quite early for a lot of different reasons, but I'm up. It's early. Been up since 4 a.m. I'm a firm believer now in my life that it's good to get up early to start your day early because time waits for no man. Time is precious, sometimes more valuable than money. So it's best to make the most out of the day. So, anyway, my name is Tiffany. Thank you so much for listening in and supporting the channel. If you like what you're hearing, please like, subscribe, comment, and by all means, please share. So, today I just wanted to talk about, you've seen that I haven't been on for a couple days, probably throughout the weekend. So, this is more of a weekend download, if you will. I've had a lot to process over the past couple of days. One, um, shout out to my hometown. I just want to say shout out to Rochester, New York. A lot going on there. My prayers continue to keep going up for the things that are happening in the community. While I was there and while I was home, I tried to do a lot for the community, just from the perspective of feeding folks, particularly women, with the organization that I started in Rochester, which is hence the name of my page, Women from Wherever Foundation. So a lot of work in that space and now continuing to do that work here out on the West Coast as well. And then just being there to try to help the homelessness issue out here, which is enormous. And continuing just to help wherever I can, those girls that are walking up and down on Figueroa. I don't know if all of you guys have seen a couple of different shows that have documented those girls who have chosen that way of life. So trying to create some impacts over there as well. And just wanting to devote my life to a life of service, right? How can I be of help to other people? And so, I got into that, but I do want to just again go back to shout out to Rochester. A lot of things happening there. A very good childhood friend of mine, passed away or was murdered, I should say. So my heart goes out to him and his family, and I understand that he was engaged to, his fiance. So it seems senseless. And again, I don't know all that's happened or taken place, but my prayers definitely are with the families. I recently lost, heard of the loss. I haven't been living at home for some time now, but a very intricate part of my spiritual walk. One of the bishops of the church that I attended for a short time in Rochester has gone on to rest and take his proper rest. And so prayers, going out for his family as well. He lived a very long life, touched so many lives. And so I was so grateful to have known him and his wife. So shout out to them and shout out to Church of God by Faith. Had to put that in there. So, so glad to and grateful, right? Because death is there for all of us. So, in terms of his journey, he's taking his rest now. So, much love there. And then we think about Easter. Easter was over the weekend. A lot of folks call it Easter. Resurrection Sunday is what it is for me. I had an awesome time being able to go with my sister and her family who celebrate the memorial and the death of Jesus Christ. So I had an opportunity to worship with them on Friday. So that was awesome. So that's how myself and my kids started our journey, into Easter and then ended it on Resurrection Sunday. Very joyous, happy occasion for us because he got up, so that we may live again. So grateful for that. Old things pass away, all things new now. So grateful for that time and grateful that, of the teachings that I've given my children, that they know, just how important that story is, right, to our lives, right? And how that single sacrifice gave us the ability to live the lives that we're living today. So can never forget that, right? And so I want to talk a little bit just about sacrifice and what sacrifice means in your life, right? From a spiritual perspective, folks fast, for an outcome, or fast just to turn down something to let, the creator know that that's just how seriously focused you are on denying yourself, denying your flesh, so that the outcome would be for his glory. Um, or asking him to intercede on your behalf, for something or some kind of circumstance that you're looking for in your life, but making that sacrifice. And then you think about the sacrifices of us as parents. How many times have we had to sacrifice, for our children, right? So that thing we wanted to do, or that car we wanted to buy, we didn't get it, right? Because we knew we had to send our kids to college, or kids were going to the prom, or maybe they needed dental work done, or maybe they needed some medical thing taken care of, right? So sacrifice in that regard, and then just how many times have we had to make sacrifices in life to do what we needed to do to keep moving forward. Sacrifice to me is aligned with discipline. Sacrifice to me means that I'm willing to go without or starve a certain part of my body that I know is not netting me great results, or it's not adding to the end and the positive result. I think about the same thing with discipline. Loving an ice cream sundae, loving, to eat certain foods that I used to eat, but I'm not able to do that anymore. So building the discipline to say I'm going to eat healthier has been a little tough. I think about even flossing my teeth, right? So creating a routine in life, right? Creating the things in life that are going to net you better results, right? So hence, flossing is going to help me create, a better stability, from a dental perspective, right? Netting some discipline in what I eat, how I eat, and when I eat is going to net me some great results from a weight loss perspective. Same thing with how we get up in the morning and what we choose to do to greet the day, how we're disciplined in that. A lot of times folks think structure is of no importance. I can remember starting the job or the career that I'm in. And like I said, I got my stuff together at about 26 years old. So I was in another profession before then, but then came into the corporate environment. And, a lot of folks, because I come from a creative background, I come from a long line of entrepreneurs, were totally against the 8 to 5, right? They were like, what are you doing working an 8 to 5? You're so much more creative than that. That's not how we were raised. That's not what our family does. And shout out to my father, and God rest his soul, but he gave me permission, right? He had to give me permission because I wasn't going to do it on my own. He said, listen, go ahead and you chart your own path and chart your own journey. And so that discipline in that moment, because I told you I got myself together when I was 26 years old, that discipline gave me what I needed in my life to be now 25, 26 years later, having a discipline-filled, more structured life than I've ever had before in my life. But that 8 to 5, going 8 to 5, showing up on time, leaving early, not leaving early, showing up on time, leaving later sometimes, showing up a little bit earlier, right? Leaving a little bit later, that kind of thing kind of helped me develop my work ethic. It helped me develop some discipline in my life. It gave me a structure. It gave me something to look forward to. It gave me something to work hard on, because idle time can be a killer as well. When we have too much idle time, because there's always something to be done. Always. There's always something that we can be doing to better ourselves, better our life, better our children's life, improve our quality of life. Always something to be done, right? So discipline, sacrifice, those things to me are very, very closely aligned. And so just thinking it over from the perspective of the weekend, just thinking about, some of those things in my life. And so I ask you the same question. What are those sacrifices that you've had to make? Or are you in the business of doing that? Does it mean that much to you to move further in life or move further ahead in a goal or something that needs to have happen where you're willing to make the sacrifice? So you're young. You can't go to the club with your friends. You're young. You got to get up for work, but your friends want to hang out. You want to stay up a little later with your mate and watch that movie, but you can't because you got things to do in the morning. All those kinds of things really lend to discipline and lend to sacrifice. So what does that look like for you in your life? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to create a discipline that's going to help you get a better outcome? I watched a really good motivational speaker that talked about, Steve Harvey actually, that talked about jumping. There's some things that we must do in order to align ourselves to be able to jump. Now, what he meant by jump was jump to the next phase in your life. Don't be afraid. Have enough courage to step off the curb or jump into that passion. Don't sit back on your laurels, just like I was talking about a couple weeks ago about status quo. If you're okay with the status quo, that's fine. I'm okay with it for you too. But that's not what I want to be and what I want to do in my life. So when you think about that, what are those kinds of things that we have to create in order to move forward, to step off the curb? Discipline, sacrifice, structure, all those kinds of things. You know, you watch the great motivational speakers like E.T., the hip hop preacher, gets up and starts his show at 3 o'clock in the morning consistently because he knows that folks are looking for that encouragement at 3 a.m. in the morning. So, you know, just building those disciplines in your life, building the sacrifices in your life is what's going to be key and most important to move into that next phase, to jump or step off the curb. And that's exactly what I intend to do with what I'm doing in my life. So I impart that all on you all today. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it. You know, I've gotten so many messages and so many comments that said, thank you, Tiffany. You know, I needed to hear that today. Or, you know, thank you so much. When are you going to have another one? Don't stop. You know, the encouragement. Because sometimes we get discouraged and say, hey, people don't want to hear what I have to say. But I have so much in my gut and so much in my belly that I want to share. So I'm going to continue to stay the course, chart the path. You know, there's joy in my journey. I talk about that all the time. And also, I just want to shout out really quick. Stay tuned for Embrace Your Flavor. It's a podcast-ish kind of show that I'll be launching really soon. And I think that it'll also help in the same way of motivating, encouraging, and inspiring others. But anyway, I love you all. Be kind and love each other and really be good to yourselves. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care.